I'm gonna tell you what's up, y'all. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong. I just wanted to come on here real quick to tell you, or to give you my opinion or my critique of the first episode of the Queen's Supreme Court. And lady, if you don't get your fucking ass out the street, it's not gonna be a long video. It's just very quick. I just had some critiques about it. The co-hosting job duties. Let me tell you what the criteria should be for a co-host of the Queen's Supreme Court. Number one, a non-celebrity. Number two, someone who is not in the industry. Refer to number one. Number three, someone who does not give a fuck about the industry. Number four, a male or female who has no issues with anything pertaining to gender expression, homosexuality, transgender, none of that. You can't have anyone who has an issue with any elements of the LGBTQ community. None. That's not gonna work. Number four or five, I don't even know what number I'm on. But you need someone who is smart, who is quick-witted, who is intelligent, who understands life, who is able to act a fool and bring it back, but on some real shit. Shekinah Joe, is that her name? She's funny. She's not that quick. And she was just too ignorant for me. Kaya she acts a fool, but she's smart. You understand what I'm saying? You can have a bitch on there who act a fool. Don't get no ignorant motherfuckers on there. People ignorant say things like, be careful how you treat gay people or your kid will wind up as one. She said something to the effect of that, and that denotes someone who sees being gay as a problem. So you can't have anybody who has issues with that. You can have a person on there who is not religious, more like spiritual, because when you start to play around like you're acting like you're praying, you can't have somebody who is afraid to play the role because they're so religious. Little Mo, who I thought was Ra Ali for the first 5 minutes, I couldn't tell who it was. She didn't look like herself. She's very religious, and being Muslim is not something, is a lifestyle. So it's not something that you can say, let's pray. See, they're not going to do any of that. They're not going to do any of that. She's not going to do any of that. You have to have somebody on there who is probably a single woman or whose partner has no problem with her making sexual references. She wasn't quick enough, Little Mo. And then, like, again, you just can't have anybody on there who gives a fuck about anybody in the industry. That is the beauty about Kaya. She does not give a fuck for real, for real. She doesn't give a fuck about an industry representative. She doesn't give a fuck about her name. She doesn't, in terms of, like, or not being able to work. A person who has their own can say whatever the fuck they want. A person trying to get on cannot say whatever the fuck they want. They cannot say anything. You have to have somebody, if you want to be funny, you can roast and gag. Your intent can be to make a joke, but you can't be too sensitive. You cannot be politically correct, and you cannot give a fuck what these industry motherfuckers are gonna say. And that's the bottom line. Shekinah, she was saying some funny things, like she's funny, but she's ignorant. And let me tell you, I don't want to say that she's ignorant. I want to say more so she's not vibing at the same level. Madison needs somebody who vibes on the same, watch out lady, she needs somebody who vibes on the same frequency as she does. That was the connection. You can't get two people on two different frequencies trying to have a show, because it doesn't, the ingredients, it'll be missing the ingredients. It's not measured. It's not measured well. The energy was off. At one point, they were kind of laughing and joking and talking. You need microphones, Madison. just to make sure that everybody's voice is projecting, because when you do start the, you know, like the little tea talk that like Lil Mo was like leaning to the side discussing something, but if she had a microphone on, you wouldn't have to worry about it because she was getting comfortable. But if you had a microphone, you wouldn't have to tell her to, you know, raise her voice. I just don't believe that you should have any celebrities on there who give, any celebrities or entertainers or anyone who cares. Like, if you want to talk about a particular celebrity, you can't have somebody that says, that's my folks and I'm not going to talk about them. No. See, that's the beauty about Kaya. She didn't give a fuck about anybody. She didn't give a fuck about anybody. She didn't care whether or not she would be able to work because she makes her own. You got to have a boss on the side of you, Madison. That's all I have to say about it. I want to support the show. I think Madison can't be herself. And the reason why she can't be herself is because there's underlying issues that people have with elements of the LGBTQ community. And you cannot have a person on there that has issues with homosexuality. You can't have a person on there who has issues with sexual expression. Like, you know, the way that Kaya used to talk about papoose. You're like, ooh, papoose, yes. See, when she was talking about Safari, Shekinah's like, that's somebody's man. Bitch, who gives a fuck? We joking. Like, you can't do that. So that's my only critique, or my, you know, observation of, smells like weed in here. That's my only critique about it. So I wish Madison well. I love the intro. I love how she came in. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is the thing. It's just a YouTube show, and it's getting off, you know, you're starting all over again, rebranding and everything. The dockets, you know, you need to have the shit in order. We don't need to cut to another screen. You don't need that. We know who you're talking about. Everybody knows who you're talking about. So you don't really necessarily need that. I think when you add too much of the logistics and the technology is where you fuck up. The beauty of the Queen's Court was that it was an intimate setting with two women talking shit about shit going on in the news, in social media and trending topics. That was the beauty of it. You have to bring that back. You can have the docket. You can say this is the next case, motherfucker, on the docket. You can have all of that. But I think that's the reason why Miss Kaya left. I hate that she went the wrong way in terms of how she handled it with Madison and doing all of the misgendering and all that other shit. But again, she does not care. Nobody can take anything away from her. She doesn't want anything from anybody. That's the type of person you need to have on the Queen's Court. It can't be, you just have to have somebody quick and who can play off of you real quick. If anybody, I would try out Chi-Chi. He doesn't care. He doesn't need anybody. He's not trying to get out into the industry. It has to be somebody who doesn't give a fuck about celebrity, who doesn't give a fuck about the spotlight. It has to be somebody like that. And Kaya was that. And that is what's missing. You can't have anybody who gives a fuck. And you can't have anybody be like, that's my boy or that's my people's, I'm not going to talk about them. But everybody can get it. That's the point. Everybody can get it. So that's my critique of the Queen's Supreme Court. And that's all. Take care of each other. Peace.